like something waiting underneath. By black cloth moved in quiet steps, and no one worshipped grief. They carved no terror into stone, no hunger dressed as law. They kept the names of things that ended where everyone could pause. And I had been named wrong before. I walked where narrow houses leaned, where ashes cooled in shallow bowls, where broken blades were laid to sleep. Beside the finished doors they told, an old man closed a lantern's flame with both hands curved around its breath. A child watched close and no one smiled, as if that too was care and death. Not death as blame, but something giving back its name. They did not seem to love the end, they only knew it had a place. Then I began to feel their eyes move differently across my skin. Not when I spoke, not when I passed, but when the air drew close within. A woman turned her face away, a boy looked twice then hid his hand. I knew that pause, I knew that shape, a gaze that tries to understand and fears the answer before it comes. The sky was heavy over stone, too dry to break, too full to leave. I felt the water held above the village like a breath unseen. I cooled the warmth the stones had kept, let dust give every drop somewhere to gather, tremble, fall and live. And rain came down softly. No one spoke when the first drops fell. The roofs grew dark, the pathways shone. The dust that rose with every step returned at last to waiting stones. Some lifted hands as if to know if water still remember them. An old mouth shook but did not pray. A child laughed once then hushed again. I had not meant to touch a wound, I only heard the air too tight. I only asked what it still held to loosen gently into sight. And still they looked as if the rain had crossed a door I had not seen. Later, where the square bent low, a child ran the glow. And all around the village there came slowly through the rain. His voice was low, his eyes stayed clear. He said the rain has nothing clean. It touched the dust and let it fall, but light has not been gentle here. In every tale our elders call. He looked at where my hand still shone, then to the faces drawn, and still he chose his words with care, as if even softness could bruise. He said they knew the child was safe, they could see the hurt was gone, but my light reminded them of other hands long ago that had called their magic wrong. Their dark, he said, was not made to ruin life. It was used when holding on only made the suffering last. A sickness, a thing too far gone. And those who came with sacred light had called that mercy unclean, had called them lovers of death, and tried to save what was already asking to end.
You healed him because he was hurt. That is not what they remember.
I looked down at my open hands. The light was mine, it had not lied, but now I knew a shining thing could carry shadows, not inside itself, but in the eyes that flinch, in stories left beneath the tongue, in children taught before they speak what kind of magic must be shunned. So I let the brightness fade away, not out of shame, not out of doubt. The rain still traced the stones below. The child stood and looked about. I had not come to prove them wrong, I only knew the sky had held its water back a little long. The village breathed, but not as one. Some watched me still, some turned aside. Agnes said nothing more to me. The rain kept falling thin and wide, and I understood beneath its sound what no one there had tried to say. A light that does not listen first can wound the world it meant to say.